Hello and welcome back to day 94 of our chronological Bible in a year reading. Today we have Judges 13, 14, and 15. Judges 13. And again the children of Israel did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah. So Yahuwah gave them into the hand of the Pelishtites for 40 years. And there was a certain man from Zorah of the clan of the Danites, whose name was Manoah. And his wife was barren and had not borne. And the messenger of Yahuwah appeared to the woman and said to her, See now, you are barren and have not borne, but you shall conceive and you shall bear a son. And now please guard and do not drink wine or strong drink, and do not eat anything unclean. For look, you are conceiving and bearing a son, and let no razor come upon his head, for the youth is a Nazarite to Elohim from the womb on, and he shall begin to save Yisrael out of the hand of the Pelishtites. And the woman came and spoke to her husband, saying, A man of Elohim came to me, and his appearance was like the appearance of a messenger of Elohim, very awesome. But I did not ask him where he was from, and he did not declare to me his name. And he said to me, See, you are conceiving and bearing a son, and now drink no wine or strong drink, nor eat anything unclean, for the youth is a Nazarite to Elohim from the womb to the day of his death. And Manoah prayed to Yahuwah and said, O Yahuwah, please let the man of Elohim whom you sent come to us again and teach us what to do for the youth who is to be born. And Elohim listened to the voice of Manoah, and the messenger of Elohim came to the woman again as she was sitting in the field, but Manoah her husband was not with her. And the woman ran hurriedly and informed her husband and said to him, See, he has appeared to me, the man who came to me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife and came to the man, and he said to him, Are you the man who spoke to this woman? And he said, I am. And Manoah said, Now let your words come true. What is to be the rule for this youth's life and his work? And the messenger of Yahuwah said to Manoah, Let the woman guard all that I had said to her. Let her not eat anything that comes from the vine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, or eat anything unclean. Let her guard all that which I have commanded her. And Manoah said to the messenger of Yahuwah, Please let us detain you and prepare a young goat for you. And the messenger of Yahuwah said to Manoah, Though you detain me, I do not eat your food, but if you offer burnt offering, offer it to Yahuwah. For Manoah did not know he was a messenger of Yahuwah. Then Manoah said to the messenger of Yahuwah, What is your name? When your words come true, then we shall esteem you. And the messenger of Yahuwah said to him, Why do you ask my name, since it is wondrous? And Manoah took the young goat with the grain offering and offered it upon the rock to Yahuwah. And he did wondrously, while Manoah and his wife looked on. And it came to be, as the flame went up toward the Shamayim, which again means the heavens, from the altar, that the messenger of Yahuwah went up in the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife were watching, and they fell on their faces to the ground. And the messenger of Yahuwah did not appear any more to Manoah and his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was a messenger of Yahuwah. And Manoah said to his wife, We shall certainly die, because we have seen Elohim. But his wife said to him, If Yahuwah had been pleased to put us to death, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and a grain offering from our hands. Nor would he have shown us all this, nor would he have let us hear the like of this. So the woman bore a son and called his name Shimshon. Which, that's Samson, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shimshon, or Samson. And the child grew, and Yahuwah barak him, which means Yahuwah blessed him. And the Ruah, which means the spirit of Yahuwah, began to move him at Mahana Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol. And Shimshon went down to Timnah, chapter 14. And Shimshon went down to Timnah and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Pelishtites. And he went up and informed his father and mother, saying, I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Pelishtites, and now take her for me for a wife. But his father and mother said to him, Is there no woman among the daughters of your brothers, or among all my people, that you should take a wife from the uncircumcised Pelishtites? And Shimshon said to his father, Take her for me, for she is pleasing in my eyes. However, his father and mother did not know that it was of Yahuwah, that he was seeking an occasion to move against the Pelishtites. For at that time the Pelishtites were ruling over Yisrael. Then Shimshon went down to Timnah with his father and mother, and came to the vineyards of Timnah, and see, a young lion came roaring at him. And again the Ruah of Elohim came mightily upon him, and he tore it apart as the tearing apart of a young goat, with naught in his hand. But he did not make known to his father or mother what he had done. And he went down and spoke to the woman, and she pleased Shimshon well. And when he returned later to take her, he turned aside to look at the carcass of the lion, and saw a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took some of it in his hands and went along eating. And he came to his father and mother and gave them, and they ate. But he did not make known to them that he took the honey out of the carcass of the lion. So his father went down to the woman, and Shimshon gave a feast there, for young men used to do so. And it came to be, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Shimshon said to them, Please let me put forth a riddle to you. If you clearly solve and explain it to me within the 7 days of the feast, then I shall give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of garments. But if you are unable to explain it to me, then you shall give me 30 linen shirts and 30 changes of garments. And they said to him, Put forth your riddle and let us hear it. And he said to them, Out of the eater came forth food, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And for 3 days they were unable to explain the riddle. And it came to be on the 7th day that they said to Shimshon's wife, Entice your husband to explain the riddle to us, or else we burn you in your father's house with fire. Have you invited us in order to take what is ours, is it not? And Shimshon's wife wept before him and said, You only hate me and do not love me. You have put forth the riddle to the sons of my people, but you have not explained it to me. And he said to her, Look, I have not explained it to my father or my mother, and should I explain it to you? Right, Samson. And she had wept before him the 7 days while their feast lasted. And it came to be on the 7th day that he informed her, because she pressed him so much. She then explained the riddle to the sons of her people. And the men of the city said to him on the 7th day before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion? And he said to them, If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle. Then the Ruah of Yahuwah came upon him mightily, and he went down to Ashkelon and smote 30 of their men, stripped them, and gave the changes of garments to those who had explained the riddle. And his displeasure burned, and he went back up to his father's house. And Shimshon's wife was given to his companion who had been his friend. Wow, chapter 15. And it came to be after some time in the days of wheat harvest that Shimshon visited his wife with a young goat. And he said, Let me go into my wife into her room. But her father would not permit him to go in. And her father said, Indeed, I thought you hated her intensely, so I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister better than she? Please take her instead. And Shimshon said to them, This time I am blameless regarding the Pelishtites if I do evil to them. And Shimshon went and caught 300 foxes, and took torches, and turned them tail to tail, and put a torch between each pair of tails, and lit the torches on fire, and sent them out into the standing grain of the Pelishtites, and burned up both the shocks and the standing grain, even the vineyards and olive trees. And the Pelishtites said, Who did this? And they answered, Shimshon, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he took away his wife and gave her to his companion. Then the Pelishtites went up and burned her and her father with fire. And Shimshon said to them, Though you do this, yet I shall take revenge on you, and after that I cease. And he smote them hip and thigh, a great smiting, and went down and dwelt in the cleft of the rock of Atem. The Pelishtites then went up and encamped in Yehudah, and spread out against Lehi, I guess. And the men of Yehudah said, Why have you come up against us? And they answered, We have come up to bind Shimshon, to do to him as he has done to us. Then 3,000 men of Yehudah went down to the cleft of the rock of Atem, and said to Shimshon, Do you not know that the Pelishtites are rulers over us? Why have you done this to us? And he said to them, As they did to me, so I did to them. And they said to him, We have come down to bind you, to give you into the hand of the Pelishtites. And Shimshon said to them, Swear to me not to fall on me yourselves. And they spoke to him, saying, No, but we are certainly going to bind you, and shall give you into their hand, but certainly not kill you. So they bound him with 2 new ropes, and brought him up from the rock. And when he came to Lehi, the Pelishtites came shouting to meet him. And the Ruah of Yahuwah came mightily upon him, and the ropes that were on his arms became like flax that is burned with fire, and his bonds broke loose from his hands. And he found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, and put out his hand and took it, and smote 1,000 men with it. And Shimshon said, With the jawbone of a donkey 1 heap, 2 heaps, with the jawbone of a donkey I have smitten 1,000 men. And it came to be, when he had ended speaking, that he threw the jawbone from his hand, and called that place Ramath Lehi. And he became very thirsty, and cried out to Yahuwah, and said, You have given this great deliverance by the hand of your servant, and now am I to die of thirst and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? And Elohim split the hollow place that is in Lehi, and water came out, and he drank. And his spirit came back, and he revived. So he called its name Ain Hakore, which is in Lehi to this day. And he ruled Israel 20 years in the days of the Pelishtites. And that concludes our reading for today. Thanks for joining. Hope you've been reading along. And peace and blessings and love to you. See you in the next one.